Whoa, 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 the MGM Lion Leap Wall Fall would have been the perfect start to this movie. What a letdown. What a missed opportunity. What a bunch of assholes. Have you ever had a cat walk across and then lie down on your face, essentially saying, "Human, serve me by being my bed"? That's what the Universal logo is doing to the Earth, and frankly, we should all be really upset by their up-close cat taint. Also, Comcast. 53 seconds of logos. God damn it, this is my fourth sin about logos, and we're still not done with the f***ing logos. Is the dead body part of the alarm? It isn't Morticia, she's lying on a bed of spikes. The body isn't on the nightstand. Listen, I'm going to try to understand every kooky spooky thing this movie sends my way, and we're starting off with a dead body alarm clock. I think this is a bad omen. Hilarious gag for a morbid family, but what sense does this make? What's Morticia going to do when she runs out of mom powder? Sure, she could kill another fool or something, but will the cremation dust truly have the right shade? I'm fine with piercing your own ears with a stapler or safety pin, but making this seem like a casual part of a daily routine means her ears would be riddled with tiny pinpricks. This is obviously a special wedding day stapler moment, and it's a shame that the movie decided not to give this moment the gravity it deserves. This movie's stealing the evil character walks through town and scares villagers while the opening number plays Moo from Muppet's Christmas Carol, and I won't have it. This aggression will not stand.
My love.
Oh look, she's bringing dead flowers to the ceremony, and spooky music is being played instead of wedding music. And remember how rock hard, gruesome stuff makes this family. The only problem is that it doesn't apply to everything. They obviously appreciate nice clothes and fancy digs, and hell, this wedding's even being held in a beautiful forest setting. My point is that they lean way too hard into that whole grotesque stuff gets me off thing for it to actually be believable.
Best hand always has the ring.
I disagree. I'm totally a righty.
I now pronounce you
Monster!
Gotta say, these villagers are some sandy little buttholes, but they have excellent dramatic timing for their insults.
I think I can see my house from here. Oh, no, that's a woman's prison.
Nick Kroll Gilbert Gottfried so hard in this movie that he might as well have feathers and a large beak. Also, holy that moon's ridiculous. It's like the Bruce Almighty moon hooked up with the Melancholia moon and birthed a supermoon that's clearly about to hit Earth.
I want to find a new home that is shrouded from the world.
Addams Family origins.
Somewhere horrible, somewhere corrupt, somewhere that no one in their right mind would be caught dead in!
This New Jersey is a shithole and nothing good comes out of it punchline needs to end. Look, I know Jersey has its flaws, but it also gave us Tony Soprano, Meryl Streep, Bruce Springsteen, Kevin Smith, Lauryn Hill, and Frank Sinatra. So you can cool it with the jokes for the next 20 years or so.
Mon amour.
French. You know what that does to me?
Cool, because I'm very curious to see how they stylize a boner in this type of animation.
We hit something.
The Addams went out of their way to avoid killing the humans who are attacking them, but moments later they're celebrating a potential homicide? Okay, but why would Lurch break free from the straitjacket now when he's clearly walked quite a long way to be free from the state hospital? And don't at me with this he had to be angry, because there's no way he didn't encounter something frustrating as in the woods. Nature's the worst.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
But Lurch was just a patient there, right? He had the uniform and everything. Where are the other ones? How long had Lurch been in the middle of the road? The hell is this scene? It goes on for some time and accomplishes what? That Lurch is a pretty competent classical organist? Lightning crashes and this franchise. Its placenta falls to the floor. Gee, seems like I'm gonna have to officially make a Finn Wolfhard stars as a teen character in a creepy movie cliche. I thought only poor Sophia Lillis was caught in that feedback loop. The camera wants us to go through this imposing carnivorous gate, but why would a bat fly through it when there's so much open sky? I believe you. For as long as it's taken for this movie to actually start, it feels like I've been watching it in real time. In a house that's enormous, they couldn't give Lurch a room where he can stand up properly. Also, the happened to his character? As soon as the Addams couple ran over his ass, they demanded him to be their servant? Are we all cool with that? Things somehow got a hold of Quentin Tarantino's laptop. As the family tree wakes Wednesday up in time to avoid the guillotine that's poised above her head, I'm wondering what happened to this franchise that provoked them to be weirder and more outrageous over the years. I mean, there were tinges of macabre in the 90s movies, but nothing like sleeping under a goddamn guillotine.
Real mature, Pugsley.
Oh, please. You never threw an axe when you were my age?
Of course I did.
I fully expected these two to have a rivalry, but Pugsley would know his sister threw axes and knives just as well as he'd know she shoots a crossbow with laser accuracy. I have a bad feeling that this movie will continue to reach for shallow themes, and not the good bad feeling. The bad feeling. The music in this scene couldn't be more Nightmare Before Christmassy if they titled the track Wednesday's Lament.
Pugsley! It's time for sword practice!
How does Papa Addams make his money? They were shown earlier in the movie to not really have anything, living kind of like hobos, but they found this asylum, just moved right the in, and were somehow able to provide rather well for themselves? The hell do they even eat? Character makes a funny face during an unnecessary slow-mo shot in an animated movie cliche. The only thing missing here is Gomez saying, "No." Wow, this family is so obsessed with death that they're actively trying to kill each other. Remind me why I'm supposed to be rooting for any of these assholes?
I'm more of a demolitions man.
I'm with you, kid. It was definitely a career high for Wesley Snipes until Dolomite Is My Name came out.
Our family hasn't been all together in 13 years. They are coming from all over the world to see you on your special day.
Nice to know that the Addams clan has no reason to come together to celebrate the women in the family.
No!
Okay, it's at this point that I care less about this family than I do about Fast and Furious characters, considering there is no way any of them will meet a tragic end in this movie.
Uncle, can you tell us what's beyond the gate?
Oh, so it's the animated version of the goddamn village? Why go through all the trouble of scraping food into the lion's mouth if you're just going to throw the plate in there too? This is like watching someone rinse off a dish and then put it in the dishwasher, and that's a sin.
The world's a big place full of poor souls who don't know the difference between shiplap and shinola.
When the is this movie supposed to take place? The 60s? Present day? Margaux goes on to flip out a goddamn smartphone in a few seconds, but the Addams were just running from a pitchforky mob 13 years ago. Is it just me, or did they literally copy the character design from Catherine Keener's Evelyn from Incredibles 2 for this kid? Is Lurch A, holding a piece of paper with a living eyeball cruelly glued to the center, or B, letting his stomach eyeball unzip from his suit to have a look-see before being shot? Either way, f*** that.
The fog. It's lifting.
Well, that would only happen if...
Someone drained the marsh.
Sure, but wouldn't the fog have lifted much earlier? The water would have been gone from the marsh in the first stage of the town's development, so this climactic fog lifts to reveal ready-to-move-in city is truly bull.
We must go down there and introduce ourselves at once.
Gomez, listen to your wife for once, man. Just because you can't see the pitchforks doesn't mean you should be jumping at the chance to meet these assholes. This instrument can f*** the hell off. At various times it sounded like a piano, a pipe organ, and a harpsichord. This ain't no Casio keyboard, man. I don't see places to enter various tones.
Because you're gonna want to sit down for this.
I mean, whether there was a horrifically evil house on the hill or not, they'd have trouble selling the view from this window. The window they're looking out of is here, and would absolutely be blocked by porch pillars and hanging puffy plants.
You know, darling, I don't think we'll need to put the family in the mausoleum. They can stay here.
Except that they would for sure prefer the mausoleum over this town. And Gomez should know that far before Morticia corrects him. The Addams family should be horrified by the look of this town. They were disgusted by a tiny fleck of pink confetti paper minutes ago.
Sir, it's all right. He's had all his shots.
Really? I figured the Addams family would be rabid anti-vaxxers.
Let me try that. Morticia, you have to try these coffee grounds.
The problem with this fish out of water story is how goddamn happy Gomez is. The whole point of a fish out of water story is the distinct lack of water and the protagonist being uncomfortable about it.
They're greeting us with one of their traditional songs.
And now the movie is treating the Addams clan like they have no brains whatsoever. These singing children are not only on the other side of the gazebo, they are facing away from the Addams family. Context clues are universal. If someone isn't facing you, they aren't singing for you.
I tip my hat to you. I do just that.
Not only is Fester able to stop the kid's backing track by just using his tuning whistle, he starts his own backing track for this silly song out of nowhere. Also, these silly shenanigans bring up something that's been bothering me this whole movie. Who's it for? It's way too grotesque for kids, too stupid for older fans of the sitcom, and too weird for the general public. So how did this motherfucker make over 200 million worldwide?
If you don't hear from me in 30 minutes, send backup.
Vloggers.
Well. Let's take a look around, shall we?
One of the main issues in this movie is how casually Margaux treats all the weird in the Addams house. Like, maybe the rogue lion wouldn't wilt your development boner, but a bearskin rug that bites and a kid with beady eyes literally climbing the walls? I don't think even the Property Brothers would with this place.
And here's our bottomless pit.
How do we get across?
One moment.
I don't know, man. Even if that bug bridge looks stable, I'd still keep in mind that in the Latin alphabet, Jehovah starts with an I. Also, this is a kid's movie, right? We're not asking questions like, where are all the arachnids hiding? In her dress? Or...
We call this surfing the web.
Oh, haha, a punny reference for a family that has no idea what the internet is or how to use it. This place clearly has electricity, so why all the candles in the chandelier? Who keeps all that lit? And don't say Lurch, because he's busy shepherding the kids around all day and banging out sweet jams on the organ.
All we have to do is pull down the side walls.
Margaux clearly went to the Party Man School of Design.
It's tragic when people can't accept the help they so badly need.
Oh man, Margaux's so greedy she turned full-on evil. She's Greevil.
Hey, Parker. Hey, got something for you.
Ma'am, I think you missed the turn for Chamberlain High School. No worries, happens all the time. Make sure to practice shouting "plug it up" multiple times on your way out.
I prefer to set my sights on something a little more challenging.
Like what?
The establishment.
Wednesday goes on to set her sights solely on Bethany and not the establishment. Villain has a bunch of video screens in a darkened office to facilitate plotting evil cliche. If only Margaux would search for the property deed, she would discover that the Addams family doesn't own their own home and have been squatting there for 13 years. Get the law involved, evict them, make an offer on the cheap property, and poof, movie is done.
Did you hear about those Addams people? Question mark. Someone told me they're wanted in 30 states.
I know neighborhood sites can spread some but is this needed? Fester just exposed himself to a bunch of park kids, and Wednesday's already threatening violence at school. At this point, it would be quicker to not even say And so now we learn that another Addams power is conjuration, as clearly Wednesday has been able to manufacture a highly complex resurrection device in a matter of seconds. A device so complex, mind you, that it bypasses living creatures and hyper-targets dead ones. So this sequence is supposed to be aping Body Snatchers, Carrie, E.T., or what, all three? Come on, movie. Remember what we learned from Family Guy. Not every reference is funny just because it's a reference. Oh, come on. Now that can sound like a Hammond organ. This organ failure is the most unbelievable nonsense in this very unbelievable movie.
Hello, my yuglies!
Hey, Grandma stole my greeting to my balls in the mirror every morning. Also, I guess Grandma is some weird combination of Sirius Black and Santa, considering she aced that lit chimney like it was nothing.
Thank you, Mother!
Said you were more tense than he's ever seen you.
What is it about bad, short, animated kids' movies that compels them to have overlong scenes like this? Is it budget? Technology? Drugs? I'm hoping it's drugs.
Where have you been?
Elsewhere.
Just tell the truth, that you went to Hot Topic. I'm sure the likes of Gomez and Morticia spend their entire teens there. And where's the light source for this high-powered magnifying beam of destruction? Is it powered by her hatred of all life? Because that's more believable than light shooting from Parker's bedroom.
You happen to be talking to the Queen of Shock.
Miley Cyrus?
Can you hear me?
You're not doing it right.
Just
Press that button.
I did.
Pick a goddamn lane, movie. Either truly revel in your weirdness or lean into these tropes like elderly people not understanding technology.
Trust Wednesday. Like you, she'll do the right thing.
Look, I'm always glad to see Catherine O'Hara and Martin Short get paid, but they are literally phoning this shit in right now.
If a mazurka lasts for more than 4 hours, contact your doctor.
To make a fool of himself!
Given this character's design, I have to think the animators couldn't wait to slap Fester's nose around like a flaccid penis.
I like it like that.
All right, thank you. How dare you enter this house like that?
And thus begins the obligatory scene of Morticia disciplining Wednesday for not being goth enough. Honestly, I think I already saw this on a second season episode of The Osbournes.
Because it's my calling to make everyone the same.
And yet you're the sort of monster who will blow out one candle and not the other, meaning they will never burn evenly again.
Now go wipe that depressing goop off your face.
Weird, this is the same thing my mom told me when I got home from my first sleepover.
I can't play by those rules anymore.
Silly Wednesday, there are no rules in this movie.
Pugsley. Where's Wednesday?
I don't know, but I do know they're my favorite band since Till Tuesday. And cue the inevitable sad music playing before the final act of the animated movie. Hell, I'm kind of surprised this isn't Jeff Buckley's Hallelujah, or even one of its many covers.
It's Cousin, you made it!
This movie paid God knows what to get Snoop Dogg in their voice cast, only to make him unrecognizable in post. If they didn't really care if the vocal track sounded good, they may as well have cast MC Ren. So the humans of this world aren't okay with the Addams shenanigans, but are okay with goat hair and false eyelashes in their cereal. I guess humans will accept anything if it's packaged appropriately. Well, that's a sin for us, if not for the movie.
Sorry to do this, but standards must be upheld.
Unfortunately, this was not a sentence that was uttered in the writing room for this movie.
They're here! The Addams Family!
Lurch credits.
It's been so long!
Yes, so disappointed to see you.
Even though we're in the final act, I still don't understand this dialect. Right now, they're saying the opposite of things that are good, like make yourself uncomfortable and disappointed to see you. But the rest of the movie has been typically normal dialogue, like when Gomez expresses desire for Morticia, he doesn't say he loathes her, right?
Gomez, this tradition is not to be taken lightly.
Really? Because it sure seems like an F story disguised as a C story, but functions only as a plot device to get all you assholes here.
We will begin with a reading from The Terror.
Pugsley's got a copy of the screenplay up there? What the hell even is this? I was promised this Saber Mazorka stuff for the last hour plus, and all I get are hallucinatory hijinks that look like they were directed by Mysterio?
I let you down. I was so focused on doing things the traditional way. I forgot to let you be who you are.
Or perhaps you failed him when you decided to start hardcore training for the Saber Mazorka 2 weeks ago rather than helping him prepare for a ridiculously complex ritual over the span of many years. The Addams Gate is carnivorous and sentient, and I refuse to believe it would have allowed an angry mob through, let alone an angry mob with a catapult and a dozen perfectly circular boulders. Wait, the house's spirit is actually sentient? And it can come and go as it chooses? Is this like Azazel from Fallen? A bunch of things happen, but nobody dies, and there's a lot of dust. There, I saved you the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Pop! I'm out of ammo!
Surprising, considering this pile of ammunition was taken out of pockets and body cavities earlier in the movie, so we know you have room for more.
We're trapped!
I mean, given the family's macabre inclinations, shouldn't they be ecstatic right now?
Hope I'm not crashing the party.
Lorette's ex machina.
Listen, you lemmings! This is my town!
Rather than simply deny the charges made by two tweens, Margaux goes full extra villain in front of the entire goddamn town.
Don't forget the gift basket, silly!
Wait, just because Margaux's show was canceled, she's good now? And she's festered? Many minutes of movie painstakingly redoing that theme that gets annoyingly stuck in your head, followed by a modern reimagining that's somehow even more annoying.
Would you like some making Balzac?
Did he say making?
Dearly beloved.
Excuse me, I'm trying to conduct a wedding here, which has nothing to do with love.
You were supposed to be this colossus. You were this great legendary thing, and yet he gains.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
And then they realized they were no longer little girls. They were little women.
Flashback, you feel with that. Just remember what I told you when you're feeling afraid.